Tell me, darling, could we run away? We could hide away by the cactus desert blue. I can see it just a mile away from this crowded place. I could lay there next to you.
Welcome back to another episode of our channel, Best Freaking Friends Forever. So this week we're doing West Virginia foods. So we're going to be tasting pepperoni rolls, the West Virginia dog, and apple butter. So we will start with pepperoni rolls. And we have taken video of us doing that. So this one's kind of cool because it did just start out as like an easy snack for like our miners and people that were going in and just needed something quick that didn't have to be refrigerated. Could take with them anywhere, really. I mean, it didn't have to be refrigerated. Just an easy, quick snack. And I mean, it had everything that they needed. It had their protein, it had their bread, so it was filling too.
Yep, the first one was sold by Giuseppe Joseph. That was in 1927. Does that sound right? Yeah, yep. So 94 years ago.
That in and of itself is crazy that they've been around that long.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure they've been around longer. That was just the first one sold, kind of like in stores. Beforehand, it was women would make it for their husbands to take down in the mines. Yeah, pepperoni and other Italian foods became popular when the booming mines and railroads attracted many immigrants from Italy. So it's definitely an Italian.
Well, and there's different variations of it. I mean, you can have just obviously stick pepperoni, sliced pepperoni. You can have cheese with it. Some people have cheese and just I guess they call it a loaded pepperoni roll, which I'm not sure what all is in a loaded pepperoni roll.
I know when I worked at Go-Mart in Fairmont, I'm pretty sure that there's one that they sold there that had Oliveria peppers in it.
I could see that because that's a big thing for West Virginia too, is Oliveria peppers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would make sense because it's got the sauce and the peppers in it too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep, Tony eats that stuff on everything. Burgers.
My dad does too. He loves that stuff. We use that on our hoagies.
Mm-hmm.
A jar of it and put it on our hoagies.
Yeah, my dad makes his homemade version of it that he can. I just remember in school here, pepperoni roll day was a big deal at school.
Oh yeah, everybody ate hot lunch. Mm-hmm. That and like we talked about earlier, birthday dinner. Everybody ate those 2 days. Hardly anybody bought a cold lunch those 2 days. Mm-hmm. Even the people that were die-hard cold lunchers.
Yeah.
They had hot lunch. They were used kind of like MREs for the military men and women. Well, men probably more back then. And I guess in the 1980s, 1985, I think they had legal trouble because they started getting stricter regulations because of the meat. So they were made in meat packing plants. And they started getting major restrictions because they thought it did need to be refrigerated for safety purposes. So they had more restrictions on them. Right. So they kind of got in legal trouble there for a little bit. But
yeah, and they are shelf stable. Mm-hmm. If you go here, they're in convenience stores, the grocery stores. You can find them almost anywhere. Just grab a pepperoni roll. But yeah, they're on the shelf. They're not in the cooler or anything like that.
Because they were easy to make and they're cheap. Like we talked about earlier, they're cheap. They're cheap to make and they're cheap to purchase. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to make them, they're not an expensive food. Right. Really, truly.
Well, right. And Dad, my mom will bake them the night before, and then my dad takes them hunting with him.
The pepperoni roll has a resemblance to the pastry of a sausage roll, which originated in the mining communities of Great Britain, as well as the Italian cow. We did was the West Virginia dog. And I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised with this one. Like we talked about, I've never had one before. I always just get the because we went to TNL and got one. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think I'm going to start getting that one instead of just the regular one now.
Yeah, I'm not a hot dog person. The last time I had a hot dog was when I was a child. And so I was really hesitant to eat one today. But besides the hot dog, it was pretty good. Having the slaw on top of the chili, I actually liked it. Gave it that extra, I don't know, it was just really good.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's what the West Virginia dog is. It has the chili, the slaw, or sauce, whatever you want to call it. The chili, the slaw, the mustard, and then and onions. Mm-hmm. So.
Oh, we did get ours without mustard.
We did.
Yeah. I did the hot dog, okay? I just can't do mustard.
Well, this one's another one that was thought to be a quick and convenient item for the miners, or snack item for miners, and quick for protein too. And it was thought to have been, popular during the Depression.
Yes.
Again, because I don't think they're that expensive to make, and they're really not that expensive to purchase either. So it is very similar to the pepperoni roll in that respect.
Yeah, you can get like a 12-pack of hot dogs for under $1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's super cheap to get a thing of hot dogs. I'd almost say it's easier to whip up some hot dogs or cheaper to whip up some hot dogs than it would be a pepperoni roll. Pepperoni's kind of high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and then you got to get the dough too, and I think sometimes if you go all out and get Pillsbury or whatever dough you particularly want, it can be quite expensive.
So there's the slaw line, and it runs from Sisterville to Clarksburg to Elkins, then into VA. South of the line includes everything on the dog. That's the slaw, chili, mustard, onion, right? Is that, yeah. And but then north of that line, people don't get slaw on it. And I didn't know that. I didn't even know there was a.
I didn't know that either. I did not know that existed.
And I'll put a picture up and show you guys. There's like a little sign. I don't know which town it's in, but there's a little sign where you can. It's like the slaw line. And I'm not a coleslaw person either, but I did like it on.
Definitely. I thought for sure I would be. I didn't think I'd like the combination.
Yeah.
I mean, I really was like, man, this is gonna be awful.
Yeah, I was worried too, but I did like it. I would probably definitely order without the dog. So just do the chili and then the slaw on top. Apple butter. It was created to fill a need. Apples are plentiful in our mountainous region. Apple butter preserves the apples to last throughout cold winters. And out at my family's house, it's about every other year. They get the big copper kettle out, like it's huge, and they put it over a fire and just stir all day.
Mm-hmm.
And first you have to make applesauce out of the apples. You have to peel and core all that and throw it in there and just cook it down. And then you keep adding cinnamon. And you add more cinnamon and more and just keep cooking it down. And the best way to eat apple butter for me is with homemade rolls. And once you get the copper kettle cleaned out, then you take the rolls and you clean out the bowl with the rolls and eat it that way. That's the best way to eat apple butter, in my opinion.
That does sound good. We ate it with crackers today because obviously we didn't have warm rolls, but it was still good. We got club crackers.
Yep, got club. Yeah, you can eat them with crackers, bread. One way I'd like to eat them here at the house if I don't have rolls is I love toast. So I'll put some butter on toast and then put some apple butter on top of that and eat it, and it's really good. I mean, heck, you could probably just eat it like applesauce if you wanted. And then something else we do with apples is apple cider. My dad got an apple cider press, and that's really fun.
I've been to your house to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, just a lot of bees. A lot. And then after we're done with that, you press all the juice out and then you have all that stuff afterwards, and then they feed that to the deer. So none of that goes to waste. And then the best way to drink apple cider is as they're pressing it, you put it underneath where it's flowing out, and you put your cup underneath and drink it that way. That's the best way to drink it. Fresh straight out of the apple.
And apple butter, the roots of apple butter lie in Limburg, Belgium and the Netherlands, and Rhineland, Germany. It was conceived during the Middle Ages when the first monasteries with large orchards appeared. The production of the butter was a perfect way to conserve part of the fruit production of the monasteries in that region, at a time when almost every village had its own apple butter producers. The production of apple butter was also a popular way of using apples in colonial America well into the 19th century. So it's not something, totally new.
There's a lot you can do with apples, too. I mean, there's so much to do, like apple pie. You can dehydrate apples, and dehydrating them, that's just another way to preserve them.
Well, and here in West Virginia, we have the Apple Butter Festival. And celebrates the orchards of the Eastern Panhandle. The festival takes place every Columbus Day weekend and features apple butter and baking contests.
That was foods from West Virginia. The West Virginia hot dog, the pepperoni roll, and apple butter. What do you guys think? Have you tried these foods? If not, definitely go out and try them. I highly recommend it. if there's a food that you would like us to try. Hopefully next time we can like actually film us doing it. Just let us know. We had fun doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the food and sitting down and trying it. But yes, let us know in the comments if there was a food that you would like us to try or recommend. Don't make it too gross. Oh, and Shelly said, how many likes? If we get 200 likes on this video, I will eat 2 hot dogs, and I hate hot dogs.
Come on, guys, bring on the likes.
Right? I have faith I won't have to eat 2 hot dogs.
Now that you hear that, guys, our friends, let's go. We have to make her eat 2 hot dogs.
Okay.
I won't like go on 200 times and click like.
You can only 1 like per account. Thank God. But yes.
Well, I've got 7 people in my family, so there's 7 likes right there if we really want to go there.
And if I know my mom and she hears this, she will be like, okay, get on YouTube. Tiffany's eating these. Tony will find people to like the video just to torture me.
Tony will create all kinds of fake accounts. He'll create all 200 of them.
Yes, he would, just to see me eat because he says I'm un-American for not eating hot dogs. Until next time, I am Tiffany. This is my BFFF Shelly. Join us next time, friends, for another great episode.